Now, may I request Professor Sushan Acharya, Central Department of Education, Tribhuvan University, Nepal, to share her comments with regard to the structural barriers to women education, some of the forward-looking approaches to girls' education, especially with regard to the higher education, and also highlight about the access to the quality education and some of the intervention. Over to you, Dr. Acharya.
Yeah, thank you, Rosie, ma'am. I would like to briefly give overview of the higher education situation in Nepal, and I certainly echo Madam Akhtar, because we are not different from other countries. The higher education enrollment has been increasing, and then female enrollment has also been increasing gradually. And when we look at the data, actually I come from Tribhuvan University, which is the largest public university, oldest and the largest. So almost 80% of the higher education students are absorbed by Tribhuvan University. So I would like to base my data on Tribhuvan University and other two universities. As I said, the enrollment rate has been increasing, and actually the girls' enrollment is higher than the boys' enrollment. But then again, the subject choice, in which subjects they are more. I mean, we follow the global trend in that as well. And but one thing that we need to consider is many students are going abroad for study, and then though we don't have the data, we can make an educated guess on the basis of our observation and experience that there are more men than women. Maybe that's one of the reasons that is influencing the data very slightly though. And as I said, though the enrollment data has been increasing, the subject choice is still the same. Like, for example, in education, there are 68.47% of girls in the total enrollment. The data represents 4 universities, not all 11 universities, only 4 where the data is available. And in medicine is 66.67. It's higher because this data includes nurses also, the nursing students as well. But interestingly, in management, there are 60% women in total. I'm talking about in total enrollment, which means they are more than 50% in all 3 major fields. But in engineering, law, science, and technology, the GPI is less than 0.5. And this actually, what happens is, if this kind of segregation continues, then we'll continue having less boys, and boys will be, it inhibits boys and men from field of study or discipline, which is predominantly regarded as feminine. And we'll see underrepresentation there. And then the same happens in science and technology and mathematics, because this is considered as males, and then more men are in that field, and women who have less access. I mean, access in the sense that when there are not many women, everybody tend to think that this is men's field. So this segregation continues, although the policies advocate for gender equality and in education. So this segregation continues in the labor market, since we produce different kind of set of expertise. Then this reflects in the labor market as well. And then the graduation rate is higher in master's level than in bachelor in general. And then the enrollment is also higher in bachelor than in master's, because the average age of marriage in Nepal corresponds with the average age of the bachelor degree students. So most girls are married when they are either in bachelor or as soon as they enter master's degree. So we lose many women at that stage because these two corresponds. And then, but how many actually graduate from higher education? We don't have that data now, and I think this is also a gender issue. Not having a data is gender disaggregated data is also a gender issue in higher education. And I'm not going to talk about other areas like curriculum, pedagogy, etc., because we don't have much time. But I would like to highlight key issues. For example, what we are experiencing is while we're promoting use of ICT in education, girls are experiencing harassment. Male students are using social media and to harass their female classmates, and female students are scared to voice. Due to fear of more harassment, abuse, or being defamed. So this is putting more psychological pressure that we have to deal with. Now I would like to jump to the women's involvement in, what I call the knowledge production level. Like we are celebrating more female entering the higher education, which is they are coming in as a consumer, but as a producer of knowledge, we are very few. For example, in all 4 universities, including mine, which is the largest and oldest, we still have only 13.2% teaching staff are women, and then only 3.85 are professors. And the same with the non-teaching staff and all. So, and then I got opportunity to listen to the women who held the leadership position, and they had to share a lot of things, and one which stood out that I would like to share, and she's still the member of our National Planning Commission right now. She said that it is not policy that uncooperative, it is people who are uncooperative, which means that women are not wanted where men get to socialize more. So they don't want to, and even if they are there, they don't want to listen, they don't want to, they restrict in many different ways to make any decisions. So it's what we need is change in attitude, behavior, and practice. So it's not only the policy alone is not helping. And having said this, I would like to conclude with few observations. I didn't go to the school education, but today, because I'm only highlighting the higher education, higher education, women in higher education. Or what I personally think is, if we claim that education is human right, and women and girls are so automatically should be granted that right, they should get that, then I think we should not rather promote, rationalize women's education as an instrumental objective. What I mean by instrumental objective is whenever we talk, we say that, oh, if women are educated, then the social indicators will look better. So we never say that for men. So on one hand, we say that it's human right, but on the other hand, we're tangled in this instrumental objective. So why? It's irrespective of this instrumental, outcome. They should be able to use that right. So, and then I think Rosie ma'am also raised this intersectionality lens. So I think we need to use intersectionality lens and then devise the intervention accordingly. Because in a country like Nepal, even though it's a small one, the diversity is huge in terms of race, in terms of caste, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of language. So, and then disability. So we need to poverty, of course, and regionality. Far western region, we can't compare with the Kathmandu Valley or even eastern part. So we have to use the lens of intersectionality, and only you devise the interventions. Now I'm just talking about the broad general issues and general data, but we need to go underneath that, and then only we'll see the reality. But in general, the higher education situation is what I just presented. And as a teacher, higher education teacher, I feel that we need to be both teacher and a counselor. We don't have, I don't know in other South Asian universities, countries, universities, but in ours, we don't have that counseling service. So when I mentioned that the use of ICT that we are promoting on one hand, and we are facing different issues as well. So we have to work as a counselor as well. So that is the issue that we have to deal with. Rosie, ma'am, I'm done for now.
Thank you. Thank you.